Welcome to the Foxx on the Wire podcast, where we talk with musicians and people in the industry from all around the world, all for the love of music. Welcome everybody to episode number 91 of Foxx on the Wire. Today we have Dan and Sam from Snailgun. Welcome, fellas.
Thank you.
Hey there.
So I want to first thank you for sending me a copy of your... Is this your debut album? Or
It is, yes, yeah. We put an EP out last December. Had 4 songs on it. Put it out digitally and on cassette. So this is the first kind of full album we put out.
Yeah, awesome. No, it's a killer album, and I've been listening to it in the car, sitting in traffic, you know, getting all frustrated, and it's kind of the perfect music for that to keep me calm.
Yeah, good Melbourne experience. Are you in Melbourne?
Yes.
Yeah, good. Yeah.
Yep. No, it's a killer album. So congratulations on the new album. Recorded. Where did you record this one?
Do you want to go, Sam?
Oh, what's the name again? We did it with the.
Is it Goat Sound?
Yeah, we did 4 songs with Goat Sound last April.
Yeah,
and then over the course of like 2 days, and then we did another 4 songs with Max Stucker at Cellar Sessions in September. That over 2 or 3 days, and put everything together.
Yeah, cool. Are they both in Melbourne? Those?
Yeah, Goat Sound's in Preston. And Cellar Sessions was in Coburg, but it's just moved to a little bit north of that to Camberfield, I think.
Campbellfield, yeah.
Campbellfield, north of Faulkner, yeah.
Ah, right. Yeah, I think we roam around similar areas, so I sort of work down that way, and obviously gigs here and there. But yeah, a Goat Sound. Okay, that's in Preston, is
it?
It's
at the Jam Hut rehearsal studios in Preston. It's like there's a really nice room back in the back for a recording that Jason has set up. Jason Fuller has set up there really nicely.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because I know Nipper. Did you guys meet Nipper when you were down there?
No, I don't think so.
I think it's his his rehearsal space. I don't know how they work it in terms of.
Oh, gotcha. Yep.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Ah, cool. So how did you guys sort of form as a band? Because you listen to this, and you guys have obviously been playing for years and years, maybe not together, but on your own, probably in 1,000 different bands. Because this is I don't know, how do you say it? Like it's obviously high quality. You guys know what you're doing on your instruments.
Oh, cheers. Thank you.
Yeah. So how did you guys? We can go back to you sort of each individually where you came from, but how did you guys get together as Snailgun?
Yeah, so Adam and I started the band back in, I want to say 2023, and we had tried to get together and start something back prior to the pandemic, and got together and jammed a few times, but we didn't have a drummer, and it was really kind of difficult to get our act together. Like we would just have these long sort of jams that really didn't have any structure, weren't going anywhere. And then over the pandemic, we both had been individually writing songs. We kind of drew a line under it and said, oh yeah, we tried that, that's fine. And after the pandemic, we had both been writing songs and said, hey, let's give it another shot. So this time I'd been in the process of kind of writing songs. I've been getting better at using drum machine to kind of lay down a backing track. So we went in with a little bit more structure to what we were doing, and got a set of songs together and did a few gigs as a duo with a drum machine. And then just by happenstance, I happened to be telling somebody that, I've got this band going, we're looking for a drummer, but they're all in like 4 or 5 bands. And Sam was standing behind me and said, oh, actually, I'm a drummer. I'm only in 2 other bands.
Only 2.
Yeah, only 2 at the time anyway. And yeah, it was just kind of fortuitous. I just thought it was funny to say that more than anything. But then when I was like, oh yeah, send me the stuff or whatever, and I forget what you had, Dan, but like you had maybe some YouTube recordings, or you had some like recordings of like some of the tracks, or you guys playing live. And as soon as I heard it, I was like, oh shit, yeah, I'd actually like to play in that. So yeah, went from there.
Yeah. That was I think 2024, kind of January 2024, and then I injured myself shortly after that, so we didn't end up, kind of put things off for a couple of months, and then I think we finally got it together.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because it all, like, it's funny you started out sort of as a jam sort of thing, because I was gonna bring that up as a point. Like, it's probably a good bet that most of these songs started from just jamming.
Yeah. So some of I think most of those were probably written, for the most part as a duo, and then kind of, they morphed and changed once Sam joined. We actually had a real live drummer, so but there are kind of extended jam sections on those that came out of that sort of process of just rehearsing and having a drum machine that just wouldn't stop.
I saw one gig before I joined, and with the drum machine, and that was cool. I actually quite liked the experience. And full credit to like Dan, because like some of those drum tracks, pretty much, I think at least like, say for example, Labyrinth, that is pretty much the drum beat verbatim that was like cooked up by Dan. Back then. And then some of the songs, it's only like slight changes, but then also just the stuff that happens when I go to play it live and I can't reproduce, or I just change it a little bit. But a lot of the drum tracks are pretty true to the original kind of idea.
Yeah, right.
It definitely has a lot more like feel and swing to it with having you in the band, Sam. Like, it definitely is less rigid.
Yeah,
more of human feel, which comes in handy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And when you're playing these songs live, do you sort of replicate what's on the album, or are you extending out some of the jammy parts a bit more and just sort of free balling it, so to speak?
Yeah. Since we recorded the album tracks, I think we've kind of locked into, okay, that this is what those parts sound like. Prior to that, it was pretty much always improvised, like how it would go on. We'd kind of like feel it out. If everybody was sort of vibing it, we would just keep going, and it could get like quite extended and quite long. But I think since we recorded it, we're sort of like, okay, let's play it that way, now that we've sort of locked it in place by putting it down on something.
Yeah. Often the bigger jams are Adam, the guitarist, like he'll just be like, oh, just let me go. And Dan and I will just often what we want to do is have the same rhythmic kind of thing for him to just go crazy on top of. So sometimes live we'll add a few extra phrases or something like that, because it'll just be whatever goes, and then if you watch us live, you'll see Dan look over at me and go, about now.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering with the guitar parts, because like some of them are pretty very obscure. Is that Adam who sort of does most of the lead parts?
Yeah, he's got a really unique style.
Yeah, he does.
Playing that is, obviously we've got kind of a very particular tone that we're reaching for. And then on top of that, he's got this very unique style of playing. So it doesn't matter kind of, I think, what kind of influences we're bringing to it. It always ends up sort of sounding like us because of his guitar style.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was sort of wondering, because like, it kind of sounds like he's, I don't know, I don't want to say making them up on the spot on the CD. It's not, but can he sort of replicate a lot of that live? Does he try and stay, like I was sort of asking before, does he stay pretty close to the obscure lead parts that are on the CD? Does he stay pretty true to those in a live setting as well, or does he just expand on those?
Yeah, for something, I think like now, for something like Shadow Operator or Screamy Cat, which both have those long extended outros with a lot of guitar parts, I think he's got that fairly consistent. It might change a little bit, but I know earlier on when we were gigging those songs, they would be quite varied, like because he's in trying different things out at different parts, trying to feel out what works. And then yeah, that all kind of came together through just playing it out, lots and lots of rehearsing it, lots and lots.
Yeah, sounds like he's someone who probably maybe improvises a lot too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
We often at our gigs will kind of have these extended intro sections that aren't on the album, but we'll just to kind of if we're playing, everybody's out of the room and we want to get people back in the room, we'll just start improvising something that kind of leads into the song. And we've got a few different tricks up our sleeve there that tends to be more improvised. That's so on the album there's a track Midway One that started out like that was kind of just a fully improvised kind of piece that led into the second half of it. The second half was written first, and then we wrote the first half as a live intro to it because we would start our set with Midway Two. Yeah.
yeah, right. Yeah, I like how he sort of really utilizes Adam some of the guitar effects. I was sort of wondering has he got a massive pedal board or he's just got a couple of favorites that he utilizes really well.
He's got a pretty modest setup,
Yeah.
to be honest. I know he's got something called what is it? I'm going to blank on the name of it.
He's got like an octave pedal in there and stuff.
No, he's got a reverb pedal and he's got an IVP, so an IVP emulator pedal, which is kind of like a famous preamp that Steve Albini used in Shellac and other bands. But it was that's kind of like the core of the sound is coming from the IVP, and he doesn't have a lot more on top of that. He might have another distortion in there. He definitely has is using a Fender Deluxe Reverb amp, so all of that kind of feeds into that sound.
Yeah, because it cuts through pretty well. I thought he must be using some Fender gear in there somewhere. And what sort of guitar does he play? Sorry, I'm just asking as a guitar nerd myself.
No. That's cool. On the so he's playing a Jazzmaster mainly.
Yeah.
But I think we doubled everything with a Jag as well. Yeah. And there might be a Strat on some of those tracks as well.
Yeah. And what about yourself, Daniel?
I play a precision bass.
Yeah.
Fender. Yeah.
That bass tone is quite striking on the album. I guess it took me, without thinking about it too hard and analysing too hard, it was like a Pixie sort of tone, maybe.
Yeah. Kim Deal's a definite influence of mine. Yeah. I think I like that kind of real snappy mid-range tone.
Yeah.
I've got a Rusty Box preamp pedal that I use into a GK amp, which gives you that kind of the tone. That's the tone I'm always searching for. So when it comes off, it sounds great.
Yep. So I was reading. I think Anthony Moore from Desert Highways was giving the album a plug maybe a couple of weeks ago. And I don't know if he wrote this, but he posted it regardless. He said Snailgun are a post-punk noise rock trio. You guys a trio or featuring aggressive and clangy guitars with catchy hooks and hypnotic rhythms. For fans of Shellac, The Jesus Lizard, Gang of Four, Dinosaur Jr., SST, Dischord, Touch and Go, and AmRep. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. That sounds pretty good. Yeah.
Have you guys played at Desert Highways? Have you done an in-store there?
No, I was talking to Anthony about trying to set something up. Adam's actually the reason why he's not here is he's about to head overseas for work for a couple months. So we'll kick off again playing probably October. So we're looking at actually setting up an in-store at Desert Highways because it's great record store.
Shout out to Anthony and Desert Highways. He's a legend. I've known him for quite a while. So he's always been awesome, and I'm glad he's got his
super nice guy.
Yeah, he's the best. So what is the band lineup? Got Adam on guitar. What's the lineup exactly?
Yeah, go ahead, Sam.
Yeah, and then it's just Dan with the bass, and then I'm just playing a playing a kit, and I'm glad Dan can field all the questions about the gear, because yeah, for me it's pretty straightforward. I added a third. Yeah, I added a third cymbal to my setup because I saw some people doing it and that it felt good. That's about the only development I've had in a few years. So yeah.
Have you been playing drums a long time, Sam?
Yeah, plenty of time. I can't. Yeah, I'm not counting anymore, but it's like over 15 years or something like that. So basically, when I was a kid and played with friends mostly. So probably the other band that I play in the most is Great Falls, and we're all high school mates. And yeah, that's a little bit of a different sound, like a kind of or indie folky, poppy rocky stuff. And so yeah, transitioning to Snailgun and playing some different kinds of drums has been pretty cool.
Yeah. What are some of your influences, Sam? Like, just like, what did you grow up listening to, and sort of what inspired you, what drummers and stuff like that?
Yeah, I've always loved. I mean, probably the bands that influenced me the most early on are probably not what I listen to as much these days, but like math rocky stuff. But then definitely prog rocky stuff. So I love the Mars Volta, and like all of those drums are very cool to me. But yeah, I'll listen to all sorts of stuff and take it from a bunch of different places. But certainly when playing with Snailgun, these guys are just a wealth of knowledge. They're both massive music nerds, and they've been showing me all sorts of stuff that I've grabbed from.
Yeah, cool. And have you always been in Melbourne, Sam? Or? Yeah.
Okay. Always been in Melbourne, a bit boring. Haven't lived anywhere else. But happy to be
same.
Here. And more happy that Dan and Evan have found their way here too.
Yeah, it's kind of funny how you guys met. If that,
Yeah.
Well,
total happenstance.
Yeah. Well, you might be you'd be forgiven for thinking Dan and Adam might have known each other from the States. Obviously, they've been in Australia a long time, so Dan would say more an Australian now than not. But you guys met. You converged. You're in different places. So
Adam and I worked together. So we met through work, and then realized we had a lot of common musical influences and musical tastes, and he happened to play guitar. So yeah, I was glad it worked out like that.
So yeah, where are you guys? Are you both from America? Are you, Daniel? You and Adam?
I grew up in Pennsylvania. Moved to Australia when I was 19, and then Adam moved here. I think 2014 or 2015. So he grew up in California.
Yeah, right. Ah, cool. So what brought you to Australia, if you don't mind me asking?
I moved over initially with a girl, but I stayed for work.
Yeah, cool.
Adam, I think, came over for work.
Yep. What was the music scene like over there in Pennsylvania? Like, were you playing in bands and stuff like that?
Yeah, I was in central Pennsylvania. It was a real small town, Amish country, but about like an hour and a bit from us was a really great local kind of 90s punk hardcore scene.
Wow.
And so there's the big kind of band that was there was a band called Mid Carson July, kind of like emo punk. And then there was another town called Carlisle, from not far from there, that had a really great hardcore scene. So I guess the band I was in there was probably like in the horror punk kind of vein, or at least we were trying to be. We were all pretty young. But a number of friends I have had there have gone on to play music, playing some really great bands around Pennsylvania, migrating closer to the city and playing there. So Philadelphia, for instance.
Right.
Yeah.
And Adam, was he playing music in LA or California? Sorry.
Yeah, I from the way he tells it, he really wasn't in a band proper. Like, he jammed with some people, but never got anything off the ground until Snailgun. So,
right.
I when I moved to Australia, I moved to Perth, and I was in a band there towards the end of 2007, 2008, called Red Music. There was like a kind of Sonic Youth inspired no wave kind of band. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, yeah, cool. And how does the songwriting work with you guys? Because I know, well, I guess probably a lot of those songs you were jamming on with the drum machine. Did they sort of mostly end up on the first album, or did your writing process change once Sam joined the band?
Yeah, I think we ended up recording, probably 7 or 6 out of the 8 songs on the album were written with the drum machine, and then there's maybe a couple there that we wrote with Sam once Sam joined the band. But all the new stuff we've written since then. Our set now that we're playing is largely just new stuff that's not on the album.
Right.
So we're putting together, I guess, what'll be the next album. Hopefully record. We've done a bit of studio time for that. Haven't finished anything yet, but we're hoping to get back in at the end of the year, maybe put something out next year.
Yeah.
The writing process now is it's kind of the same. I guess either Adam will come up with a little guitar riff or something he thinks sounds pretty cool, or I'll come up with a little bass part or some lyrics, and we'll Sam will have a little drum beat, and we'll just take that in and kind of start playing it and see where it goes. And I'm a pretty big kind of Fugazi archivist fanatic, so I've got this kind of just drive to record everything that we're doing, so that we can look back on it and pick stuff out of it. So I think I've got pretty much every rehearsal we've done recorded, and in there are little snippets of things that might eventually become songs. So that's essentially where we'll kind of jam on it, listen back to it, go, nah, this one sounds good. This could be something.
Yeah, that's where the good stuff pops out sometimes, doesn't it? And you sometimes miss it if you're not recording it.
Yeah,
that's a good idea. Yeah. Sorry, Sam, you're going to say something?
No, exactly that. Yeah, exactly that. The it can catch all of those little moments and all of that. So a big credit for Dan for doing a lot of that. The recording. First of all, it's just cool to listen back to that stuff, but then it's also especially with Adam going crazy in certain bits, Dan will be able to be like, oh, at 2 minutes here you played this little thing that otherwise we might have missed, and then that can slowly sort of solidify and slowly sort of turn into that kind of controlled chaos that it ends up being, because we pinpointed that stuff. So a lot of these songs start with just some little janky voice note that we'll just have sent to each other, might have lyrics, might have some singing or not, and then just kind of builds piece by piece. But I'm kind of a lot of the time, those original voice notes, not quite sure how Dan and Adam do it, but often those voice notes will capture so much of exactly what the song is. There'll be plenty of improvisation and song structure changes, but those first ideas are often very strong by themselves.
I think it's whoever kind of sends the little normally it's just recorded on an iPhone or something. You might just plug the guitar in and play something into the iPhone and send it off. But we tend to, whoever records that kind of has kind of sort of allow them to kind of dictate a little bit, what were you hearing here? Where did you want this to go? But not always. So sometimes, Adam might have said something like sent through a guitar recording. I think Shadow Operator happened like this. And I was like, after that kind of got expanded a little bit, I was like, I think I've got some lyrics for this. So, why don't I take vocal duties on this one? And so it's not always the case that I think whoever writes it gets first stab at sort of doing the vocals and stuff. I think that's an unspoken kind of rule that we've got, maybe.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about the vocals. Do you and Adam, Daniel, do you and Adam sort of swap vocal duties?
Yeah. So if I think it's been the case that whoever's written the lyrics has sung the song.
Yeah.
And usually it's just, whoever's got a good idea for that particular song. So sometimes it'll whenever we bring the riff in or something like that, it'll be like, I've got an idea for a vocal here. And then it's just whether, it gets fleshed out with words and stuff, we'll try it out. So sometimes that happens quickly. Sometimes it takes a long time. We might have the instrumental track for a while before vocals get added or lyrics get written. And then sometimes, Adam will suggest certain, I guess, backup parts. So I'll try to, maybe you could do this here. We'll try to kind of have, because we've got two vocalists and we're just a 3-piece, we try to kind of mix it up by having, two people singing, two voices going. We're still working on that, I think, to try to kind of figure out how to best use that.
I'll add a tiny little note, which is one of the things I really loved about releasing the album is I could finally, and also recording, is I could finally hear the lyrics. Like I could never hear it on stage. I don't know if that's a pretty typical thing. Like lyrics and stuff just go by me. So being able to sit down and listen to our own stuff, and I love some of the lyrics, but
Oh, that's what he's singing.
I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, I'd imagine you guys would be pretty loud, so you're probably not hearing a lot of vocal.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the PAs and stuff just can't keep up with the vocals, even just in the rehearsal rooms. They're just Like, you got a loud drum kit. Yeah, it is, isn't it? Yeah. So any gigs coming up? I know you said Adam's heading overseas. So have you got anything booked before he goes away?
No, we just played our last gig last week at Shot Kickers.
Right, yeah.
So with Black Wattle Witches, Sanzu, and Big Black Maria, their debut gig. All those bands are great, by the way. And then we did the album launch the week before that. So that was our last things that we had scheduled before we're taking a little break. So we haven't got anything scheduled yet, but we'll definitely get some stuff up towards the end of the year. Yeah.
And you're going to start potentially recording before the end of the year, the second album?
Yeah, we did. We got 4 tracks recorded, just the kind of bass tracks. We still got to do the guitar overdubs and vocals, but that's all coming along pretty well. We're still writing, so we're going to try to do a bit of writing while Adam's overseas. Just like probably, I mean, the main task will be going back through those rehearsal recordings and solidifying a lot of the tracks that we have, like some things that are, song ideas that are there that maybe we could spend a little bit more time on, just thinking through what we wanted to do.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea, recording the rehearsals, because that's where some of the good ideas, like, when you've sort of got your guard down and you're just playing, like as soon as you stick a microphone in front of someone at a studio, like you put up these almost walls and everything's got to be almost perfect in a way, and you start overthinking things. But potentially in the rehearsal room, when you're just jamming it out, like your guard's down, but Daniel's capturing those moments to then look back on. And so I think it's a pretty good idea, actually.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. All right, so where can people get the album?
Yeah, so we've got it on Bandcamp. We've got it on CD and vinyl. The vinyl is in Desert Highways. We've got to get in other record stores like Record Paradise, Round and Round, Strange World, Black Sound. And probably going to hit a few more shops when I get a minute to take some around. But you'll probably see the vinyl out around your favorite record shop. But yeah, otherwise it's on our Bandcamp. You can check it out there. It's Snailgun Band at bandcamp.com.
Cool. I'll put some links in the show notes so people can check you guys out. And you're on Instagram and Facebook and all that sort of stuff as well.
Yeah, Instagram mainly, but yeah, there was Facebook pages too.
Yeah, cool. All right. Well, thank you, Sam, and thank you, Daniel, for coming on the podcast. It's been good catching up with you guys, and maybe we can catch up again. Well, probably next year, and see how you're going with the second album. But yeah, really, really enjoying this, and thank you for sending me a copy. But I might have to grab the vinyl as well. I'll go and see Anthony at Desert Highways See if he's
For
got
sure.
any copies
Yeah.
left.
Yeah.
But yeah, thanks for coming on the podcast, guys. Really appreciate it.
Yeah. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thanks for having us.
Thanks everyone for tuning in, and we'll catch you for another episode of Foxx on the Wire very soon. Thank you.